Okay. What's going on here?
For Dad.
Oh my goodness. It's like something from the Addams Family. Da-da-da-da-da. Hello, cousin It.
Not having a good day.
You're not having a good day. Hi, everybody. It's Matt and
It's not.
Unhappy Dyan. Welcome to OK Aussie. Not so okay, but we're here anyway.
Do you like my new socks?
Oh, okay. Sock cam. Hi, socks.
No.
It's almost like a push
you know
googly
what?
sock or eyes on them. Yes.
Look at it, like nice long ones.
Yes, they are actually. We've got them in a 3-pack. Where did you get them from?
But basically, you know why
Aldi.
I'm not having
Aldi
a
is
good
different.
day?
Why are you not having a good day? Okay, would you stop doing that?
You know why?
Why?
People.
It's a bit peoply out there. Yes?
What's wrong? What's wrong with everyone?
See, that's the meaning of life.
Everyone's a grumpy asshole, and it's rubbed off on me.
You have been a bit
I'm
of a-
not a grumpy asshole, but it's rubbed off on me, right?
It has, sadly.
Yeah.
It has. Well, let's have a chat and find
I'm
out
sick of people.
a bit more. Okay, now, in today's episode, I've got an article on the conversation.
Oh, it's an article,
It's a
right?
news article. I always share the news.
I'm in the dark.
Little bits and pieces. Indeed. And it's about meal times.
You're
They
gonna
can be
lock me in a
tough.
car?
No. For your child if it's autistic or has ADHD.
That's not even funny. It's
And
not
there's some
funny.
tips to try. I thought we might have a conversation at the table about
The table. Oh,
At the
it's
table.
serious.
to the table, miss.
God, I'm trying to child again. Here we go. To the table.
To the table.
What do I do now?
Right, miss, to the table.
God, I feel like I've been called to dinner. It's like, you got to be there. Guys, in my household, if you're not at dinner in 2 seconds, you're dead. It's the wooden spoon, it's yelling, it's name calling, it's everything.
Wow, that's a bit full on.
Yep.
Jesus.
Dinner, I'm here. What do you want
Okay.
now? I'm here for dinner.
Well, I'm not going to feed
I
you.
used to love it when my brother and I would go,
Yeah.
we want dinner. While she's serving.
Yeah. How'd that go?
It was
down
a
for you?
round table we used to use because the
Ah,
majority of my life was my brother, my mum, and me. Anyway,
Okay. Well, look, anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sharing a conversation. This is more of a reaction sort
I'm
of piece.
excited to hear
But
it.
it's a good conversation starter for us to find out a bit more about Dyan and being ADHD and autistic. How ADHD,
Putting the light on for dinner.
ADHD,
Oh.
easily distracted and autistic. Bright lights, loves to collect lights. Need I say more? I haven't even gone into the article yet.
Sorry,
So this
go.
was published on the 18th of June. This is an article by Stella Boyd Ford and Claire Dix from the University of Queensland.
Oh, yes, Stella.
Thank you very much for that. The title of it is called Mealtimes Can Be Tough When Your Child is Autistic or has ADHD. Here are,
Stella! Sorry, I had to. It was.
you think my day is
It's a
easy?
tick. It just.
Oh, the
It's
ticks
Tourette's.
today.
Ah, motherfucker.
The Tourette's has been
You're mean.
insane.
Okay, I'll
So let's
watch
read the
it.
article and let's
Let's
actually
watch
find out
it.
Dyan's response to this.
Please don't care.
And-
This one hurts.
no, you just sit.
No, I can't do my favourite positions.
Okay.
That sounds
Let's
sexual.
tag. Let's go around here.
Okay.
What are you doing now?
I have OCD. He's
Okay.
mean, isn't
If
he?
you're new to the channel, Dyan, who is autistic, ADHD, and OCD, has 22q11.2
Right, that feels
deletion syndrome.
better.
It's normal to sit on your feet at the table
Yes.
because you get some
I
extra boost to
feel-
height because you're so small.
I
so
have no
22q.
idea. This is just this is my comfortable, right? This is my happy place.
Gathering as a family, the article goes,
Oh.
for a meal can serve
Oh.
several
Thank God for
purposes,
my uncle.
from social connection to nutrition.
It was every Sunday
How's your nutrition
lunch.
for gastroparesis? Anyway, another
Oh,
thing
you
to
should have
look at.
seen the little tricks I tried at the dinner table.
Now,
Oh,
this can also make eating and mealtimes tricky to manage when someone is in the family perhaps
I was.
neurodivergent.
I was. To the whole family.
Very neurodivergent.
Inconvenient.
Many autistic children and children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, display what has been called abnormal feeding behaviours. Have you had abnormal feeding behaviours, honey?
Yes, I will admit to that.
Okay. Children may develop these behaviours as a way to cope with the complex task of mealtime. Seriously, you
I'm
can sit still.
listening.
You're-
If I
you
fidget,
cannot
I
be
can-
listening if
Can.
you're moving. It's
Anyone
impossible.
out there with ADHD knows
You have an
that.
auditory processing disorder and you can't multitask. executive
I'm
functioning.
hearing this.
The skills involved.
There's an article about something to do with autistics at the dinner table,
and
right?
ADHD.
And ADHD, sorry.
So, the skills involved in mealtimes, such as recognising feelings of hunger.
Oh, elbows on the
thirst.
table. Oh,
That's introspection.
10 points off.
Completing tasks in a set order, processing all kinds of sensory input, using fine motor skills, and interacting socially can be challenging.
Do you know what I did one day?
I can't even get to this
I had peas on my
That's how it
fork.
happens. What'd you do?
And see, you meant to put it on the back of the fork. I don't get it, Nana.
Okay.
Anyway.
Very good etiquette.
So she's like,
You
squish
never
it
went
with the
to-
mashed potato. It makes it easier. Okay. But I didn't like to mix.
No,
So, shut up.
no, that's true.
So anyway,
She doesn't like to be-
I would scoop it like a shovel, and I'd get picked on for having bad etiquette.
Bad
I'd
etiquette?
scoop it like a shovel, and I'd be so, oh, it's about to get, I'm like, I'm winning. Boing. Sorry,
He just
Uncle
cracks here and away it goes, and
Andrew.
he's wearing the
Uncle
peas.
Andrew's wearing peas, and he
Okay.
hates peas. He hated peas. You know what he used to do to all his food?
I'm going to
Tomato
get to this
sauce.
article. Don't worry. Stay with me here.
It destroyed the roast dinner.
Right. With meals occurring up to 6 times a day, and particularly with gastroparesis, you eat lots of small
Oh, no.
meals.
We got to have tea and scones,
Right.
morning and afternoon
So,
tea,
like,
and
second-
supper. Supper in my culture is like,
Now we've got a drill going.
you know, some kind
This
of
is like
like
an apartment.
extra dessert. It's not dessert, it's like some kind of late night snack, right?
Yep.
And that was all in the lounge room. There's only
Okay.
3 meals at the table.
All right.
You must be at the table. You must sit at the table.
Yep.
I never got to eat my cereal from the cartoons like other kids.
Have you noticed the drilling?
Yes.
Okay. Are you still focused on me? Do you need your headsets?
I made my kids eat breakfast at the table. Am I mean?
You-
I was
you're-
mean like my
You're
own
passing
mum.
down traditions. Anyway, so with meals occurring up to 6 times
What?
a day, the whole activity becomes quite daunting. But not getting enough
Yeah,
to
I
eat
dreaded
can
it.
have a negative effect on behaviour, learning and health.
Food
So
didn't.
what can you do to help your
Hate food.
autistic or ADHD child get what they need at mealtimes? So here are some of the common behaviours, common abnormal feeding behaviours
Okay,
in
what are
autistic children or children with ADHD. They include food selectivity, where a child has a small range of preferred foods and limited variety. For example, children choosing only grain-based or dairy food such as noodles and yogurt or toast and cheese. Were you very selective with your food and still are today right this very moment? Yes, she says, nodding.
So I used to be quite happy with the meat and the mashed potato
Yep.
or rice. No problem. Just
No
don't
problems.
mix them.
Okay, don't mix it.
Don't
sure.
mix them. I can as an adult. I couldn't then. And all the other little extras. Well, I had to eat my whole. What I grew up in the brutal generation, and you could not leave the table. And trust me.
Yeah.
I spent long time at
Hours?
the table.
Into the evening,
If
into
they,
the wee hours.
yeah, if it was a battle and they thought we're gonna win,
Yeah.
I was like, breakfast. It was served to me.
And they would have put it in the fridge
Not
and given it to
kidding.
you for
It was-
breakfast.
yes, it
and you were sent to
was.
bed with no more food.
Yes,
You were
being
being taught
exactly.
harshly. You have to eat and you have to
But
finish it.
basically, I had to have. Then they started to make deals with me.
Right.
If you have
the
2
negotiation
mouths of
phase.
peas,
Yep.
2 mouths of
It's
squash.
like a hostage situation, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'd eat like I said, rice, mashed potato, not a problem.
Okay.
My meat's not a problem.
Sure.
But you
Squash.
come to like the veggies, like
The
any
weird stuff.
kid, the pumpkin, they thought I was putting it on. I'd go,
The gag reflex. Yep.
they'd say swallow. I go, no way.
It ain't going to happen. It's going to come back up again. So yeah.
It did.
Right.
All over me.
I learned the hard way. I'm assuming that you also probably
I was-
took rosters and taking turns and sitting with you at the table to make sure that you focused on not hiding your food
we
or
ended
giving
up
to the dog.
transferring from the main nice dining room to the round table in the kitchen.
Okay.
And the uncles took turns with shifts because
Shifts.
I was
Shifts to make sure that
stubborn.
she sits at ease.
I was like, not eating it.
Did the dog come and help you take some of the
Great
scraps?
conversations with Uncle Ray.
That's good. Well, that would have been good.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the dogs
the
got
next part.
scraps. Absolutely, they loved it.
So
I
other,
did that.
other abnormal
Welcome.
or common abnormal feeding behaviours include strong preferences in how food is prepared and presented, including
Yeah,
the
that's
brands
true.
or the tableware
Oh, the
that's
brands,
used.
yeah. Changing brands, Mum. No,
Yeah.
no.
What type of
But
knife
it's
and
chopped chip
fork?
cookies. But it's not the chopped chip cookies. but they're just a
cookies.
different
They've got
brand.
chocolate and they've got chips.
She never understood. But
So brand preference.
But those ones, they taste different. Yeah, but they're choc chip cookies. They're not choc chip cookies.
So were you affected by the tableware that you had preferences on what type of knife or fork
Yes,
or
well,
placemat or
basically,
whatever else is used?
well, everything had to be proper,
Right.
because that's how it was in my house. I didn't know which side the knife and fork went. Never learned. I still don't know.
Darling, you don't know your left and the right today, so that's okay. And we
No,
don't
but I
know-
still
you
don't
navigate
know.
with maths,
I still
so
don't know
that's-
how it's supposed to be, because Uncle Andrew would come and save me every
Right.
time.
Thank you, Uncle Andrew. Luckily. Indeed.
He's in heaven. But basically, yeah, like I had to eat a certain way. You can put your elbows in the table. What was the question again?
Okay, so we're talking about brands, but also tableware. Here's an example, such as only
Yeah,
accepting.
like I couldn't manage a fork.
Yeah.
Do you know how long they are for a kid? It's like, picture, like the large forks,
Large
right?
times, yeah.
like picture a large fork and try using that to eat. That's what it's like how little I was.
Okay.
And I'm like balancing on this thing and I've got dyspraxia and I'm like,
Which is no balance at all. No coordination.
and they're thinking, God, you make it look so hard. I'm like, it is hard. What do you mean I'm making it look
This is not
hard?
a circus performance.
And also,
Right.
we'd all sit down and poor Nana, after slaving over, and all the other women in the kitchen, slaving over doing this every Sunday for a lot of people. We're a big family. We'd all just sit down and drink.
Oh, you'd spill the drink.
And I'd be
You're an
like,
explosion.
"Oh." So anyway, no more drinks at the table for me anymore. That ended.
And you still have a lot of spill-proof cups wherever we go now.
You probably noticed.
So on that last preference one, there's also an example here such as only accepting hot chips from one source or only being able to use a specific bowl or a
Yes.
specific fork.
When Macca's came to Australia,
Yes.
I went, mm-mm.
What do you mean?
Fries. Fries aren't chips. I was raised on thick chips.
Thick chips.
Homemade thick chips.
Did
so
you
when
prefer
I
the
looked at
crinkle cut or
fries,
the
I was
straight
like,
ones?
either. It just had to be thick.
Right.
Right? But basically, if I saw fries, I'm like,
And
they're just like chips. I'm like, mm-mm.
But what happened when wedges came out?
I'm used to fish and chips.
Okay, so you've got a preference in that. Right, other areas of this process is hypersensitivity to textures, such as needing foods to be
pumpkin.
very crunchy or preferring foods that are smooth like a puree.
You feel like a lizard
What's
when you're
your
eating
tongue
pumpkin.
doing?
Because when you're eating sloppy veggies,
Yeah.
okay, I've got a high palate too.
Yes, well that's 22Q.
And
You could have had a
And
cleft
it
palate,
got
but high
stuck
palate.
up there, and I'm like,
Trying to get it out. Are you playing with your food or you're eating it?
actually, when I got used to the taste of peas and I actually could tolerate them,
Yeah.
and of course I could not mix in the mashed potato, Nana, no. I don't know how I don't think I could even do it now, actually.
Yeah.
Peas and mashed potato, no, I don't
No.
think I can. But basically, yeah, I used to play with my food. I used to do the thing of, because food didn't motivate me, guys. Hated food, gave me tummy ache, born with gastroparesis.
Gastroparesis.
But guess what? I was very good at doing this. Just like, oh, that looks like a snowman of my mashed potato. Yeah, I did do that. Eyeballs for the peas. And my uncle, Andrew, would be looking, going, that's good. And Nana would be like, what are you doing playing with your food?
Yes. Uncle Andrew shouldn't be encouraging you. Alright, other areas
He was
are
young.
overeating or undereating due to
Undereating.
differences in how children understand and respond to their body signals.
I
A
underate.
sense known as interoception. This means that they can go long periods without eating or graze
Yes.
throughout the day. Or
Yeah.
drinking, and you have problems with drinking.
Yeah, so I ended up in hospital because I wasn't drinking and
You
eating.
need to remember to drink. You have to
Yeah.
actually have someone tell you, right, on the hour, every hour, drink.
Every half an hour they made me sip
Half hour.
so
There you
many
go.
meals, and I had to be at the kitchen because of course spill hazard.
Spill risk, yeah. At the
So
sink and
Mum
drink.
would have to call me in from the street, make sure I had my dose of water, whatever cordial normally it was.
Mhm.
You know, yeah. So that happened. But basically, I was an under-eater, so I was always under my weight, probably for healthy weight range. Slightly, not majorly.
Mhm.
And yes, I loved my sweets and cookies and all those things, and cake, of course, but that wasn't available in my house.
Mm.
That was my grandparents would give it to me, and I was with them a lot, so that was kind of lucky.
Yeah.
But with my mum, it was healthy. So I would actually eat things like I'd go grab a capsicum and eat it like an apple.
You weirdo.
That was fine. But basically, not the pips though. But basically, like, I would just not bother to eat unless someone told me. And then even if they asked me, are you hungry? I'd be like, I don't know.
Am I? Should I be? Do I need to be?
How am I supposed to know this? That's all I'm ever thinking
puzzling.
is, how am I supposed to know this?
Yeah.
But I used to undereat. So I'd eat what I could tolerate on the thing and just be stubborn as anything, guys. And I'd go, no.
Oh, that's hard.
And I'd push my plate far away.
How'd that
And
go?
Mum would go, stop, leave it in front of you and wait for everyone else to finish. And I'm like,
Now, being underweight or having eating disorders is actually very common with autistic
Yes.
females. Probably about 1 in 4, so 25% can actually
so
be
when I was
dealing
a
with that as an issue.
teenager, I actually did deal with the actual anorexia, not gastroparesis problems.
Mm.
That was the only time I dealt with that. And probably into my early 20s was because it became an OCD habit.
Okay, that version.
But
Yeah.
it started out as being, I didn't want to change, right? I wanted my body to be familiar when I looked in the mirror. Weird thing, I know. But because you change in adolescence, it's not that I thought much about growing into a woman,
Yeah.
but it was just, I didn't like the change.
Okay.
I found it overwhelming. So I wanted to just be able to look in the mirror and go, that's me.
And also, I guess, stay consistent with the
So-
same clothes so that you're not growing out of clothes.
Yeah,
You
because I
wanna
had my
stay with that
preferences of style of clothes or type of clothes and clothes in my cupboard. Exactly.
Favourites, those that are comfortable.
Mum would
another
be like,
sensory
they've got to
issue.
go, they've got to go. And I'm like, no. She's like, they've got to go.
Yeah.
No.
They got more holes than
And the things I'd wear were daggy because they were either comfortable or
Mhm.
whatever.
Okay. Now, other issues also revolve around inflexibility around mealtime routines due to a drive for consistency
Yeah,
and
if she was-
sameness
if
to
she was
feel
late-
safe. This means eating in different places at different times or having unfamiliar foods becomes very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tell me.
So, if
Right.
dinner was late, I would be at the table going, it's the only meal that I looked forward to.
Okay.
For some strange reason. My mum was a good cook. My family are good cooks. But basically that was the only thing I'd look forward to. And normally it was like whatever the favourite part was because she was very much, Monday was this, Tuesday was that, Wednesday was this, Thursday was that.
That's very
Friday
routine
that.
oriented,
Yeah,
isn't
very
it?
OCD.
Yeah, and you like your routines as an autistic.
And I liked it. So if it was different and Monday wasn't like lasagna, I was like, Mum, you can't do this to me. My brain all day has been preparing
Expecting and
for
preparing.
lasagna.
Yeah,
What's this?
yeah. What happens when, for
We're
example,
having fish and chips. No.
sometimes I'll surprise Dyan with like her drink. Now it's in an enclosed cup so she can't see inside it. And sometimes because I may have run out of one cool drink in the fridge and I put another
Not
flavour
cool.
or brand
Not
into it, doesn't always get a good response, does it?
No.
No. Okay.
Even the difference in cordials.
Yeah.
If she gave a different cordial, but that one's on special. No, we always get orange, Mum.
We need to always
No, but
get
there was
orange.
another thing in there. Oh, and if we were at other people's places, I
Right.
couldn't eat. If we were
Okay.
out at shops, I couldn't eat. Even if you bought me something. Like, you know how kids, when they go out and they get bought food, it's exciting.
Yep.
Not for me.
Okay.
No, my anxiety, I could not eat outside my home.
That would be
Could not do it.
that would be very difficult for
It
you
caused me to
when
be
you were traveling.
underweight.
So when you were traveling overseas and going to even
Yes.
different cultures and different
Yes.
countries, that would have been even
I was
more
very,
challenging.
yeah. But basically,
Wow.
we went into my 20s, guys, and I could not eat in public. Not because of social anxiety. I'm just talking, I was so anxious with the different environment and all that. I couldn't do it. And of course, the older you get, the more you're out of
Yep.
your house,
Yep.
right? I wasn't eating and I was underweight. And it wasn't by choice. It
Mm-hmm.
was just the overwhelming feeling of just eating when I'm out. It's like, no, no, this is not a familiar place to
Sure.
eat.
So the last of the
It's true.
abnormal feeding behaviours that
What?
are quite common
How
is
do they know this? They haven't spoken to me.
oh, you are so atypical. It's really funny. So the last of these combinations of common scenarios are also a
What?
difficulty in transitioning to meal times due to a hyper focus on a preferred task that you might be doing elsewhere,
Oh
but
my
you don't want to stop,
God.
leave it, and actually go to the dinner table.
Oh my God, yes!
I think you've hit a spot there.
Yes!
Got a nerve, maybe?
This is a big one.
Right.
Oh, mother dear. Sorry about that. But yeah, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
If I was interrupted, even if it was, regardless of dinner, could be anything, I was like, what? And she'd go, don't you give me that attitude. And I'd be like, oh, I better take that back. But it would just come out, right?
Yeah.
But of course, the wooden spoon, X generation, we were frightened.
Mm.
But basically, yes, I would get mad.
Mm.
And if it was for dinner, and she'd scream my name, scream my name, scream my name, scream my name, and, you know, I'd eventually come out and be like, what? Dinner. Oh! Like, I would always show the sign of like,
yeah.
Because, yeah, if I was hyper-focused, guys, I was like, no, it's not convenient, no. And see, this is the problem with autistics and parenting them. We don't understand authority. And it's not in the same way of a normal child. And please understand that. I know now, and I wish I knew this as a child, and children who are autistic now get better help than I did in the 70s and 80s. But basically, I wish someone told me these things, because I would have been more, okay, I'm feeling these really, really, really uncomfortable feelings about transitioning from what I'm doing to going to eat. Because mum's like, it's going to get cold. And I'm like, oh.
Mm-hmm. But if the other
We
people,
didn't have microwaves.
and if the people around you were more acutely aware of this, they could actually help you do the transition and help you to feel more engaged with this process. And also, you wouldn't have as much.
Well, just going to my
negativity
dad's, I
in the
was a
experience or
divorced
punishment.
child
That
from a
never
divorced family, and every second weekend, in pockets of time when he wanted to be dad, you know, he'd pick us up, and you know, even my grandparents, who I adored, that on his side, you know, his parents, I loved going there, and it was different food, and it was lovely food, but it was just, once again, I would sit there, and out of respect, I'd try so hard to eat, and it was so hard. And they just saw me, and you know what? They actually mistook me for something else, because naturally they didn't live with me. They didn't spend as much time with me, being my father's parents, meaning my grandparents. You don't really get, the women's family always gets the grandkids the most, don't they? So basically my grandparents and that, so I didn't get to see us as much. And then my father didn't have us all of the time, and it was every second weekend when he did. So it was like, all the food was different, and I wanted to show respect of just trying to eat, but they mistook it as being, she eats like a bird, she just doesn't eat much. But it wasn't that. So even at Christmas, it was torture when I had Christmas each year with each mum's family, my dad's family, mum's family, my dad's family, you know, that kind of thing every year. So when I was with my dad's family that year, each year it was my dad's turn, I couldn't enjoy, and I would literally, it actually makes you kind of emotional.
Right, I'm sure it does. Memories do bring them back.
I couldn't enjoy the food because I was with my dad in a different house. It's not my house.
So it's a transitioning issue. And it's also must be
Whereas
complex for you
my
to have
other
that feast
grandparents
and
was
famine.
more-
You're going to one
Yes, it
environment
was
which
feast
is
and
meals
famine.
and rich and have got luxurious, rich foods. And I'm
Unless,
from a palate and a taste.
mum's parents would always feed us really well.
Yeah.
So, but mum was on a limited budget, and the stuff that was on offer, it just wasn't enough.
That's very challenging as it is.
Yes.
That's lack of a consistency. Now, getting enough fuel, that's part of this too. Getting enough fuel. While some children can meet their nutritional requirements despite these challenges, others face more serious consequences. Sometimes these difficulties can impact their growth, and you've got a failure to thrive.
I had a failure to thrive, so I didn't grow.
They can lead to
the
vitamin
continuum
or
of-
mineral deficiencies, and
Yeah.
you are very deficient, in fact, in all the major, you know, your Bs, your Cs, your Ds, the irons, etc. That can impact their growth, lead to vitamin mineral deficiencies, cause stomach or gut issues, well, go figure, and even increase the risk of developing chronic diseases later in life.
Ew.
Yeah. That's
Well,
an
gut
impact.
issues were always an issue. It started in South Africa.
Mm.
Well, no, actually, it started when we were in Italy. So we were on a ferry, I think from Italy, or we were arriving in Italy. I'm not quite sure. But basically, on that ferry, it's a long ferry trip. And basically, like a ferry, like a boat. I'm not a ferry.
Okay, no ferry rings involved.
And basically, that's when my gut was like the first major episode I had. So I was about 9, I don't know. And basically that's when my gut issues really, ever since then, was severe.
Noticeable, right.
Severe from then on. Yeah.
Right, and that wouldn't have been easy to manage when you've got, again, different
Not when
foods.
you're travelling.
You're travelling,
We're
no
backpacking
set
around
environment,
Europe.
no home, no familiar routines. Oh my God. Now, parents struggle to know how best to approach mealtime
Lot of meat
for
in
their
Italy.
children with autism or
Get stuff.
ADHD, and they worry about their potential health impacts on their child's diet. Now, instead of panicking, punishing, which you faced, or trying to fix these behaviours, a more supportive mealtime approach that acknowledges and accommodates a child's needs can be a better strategy. So here are 5 ways to support children with different mealtime needs if they have autism or
Makes
ADHD.
me feel guilty with Jordan because we
Our
pushed him a
youngest
little
child.
bit, didn't we, with things? But that was just because of my bad experience. It's generational trauma, isn't it, really?
Yeah, sure.
It's like I wanted him to be able to get the brain needs of
nutrition.
Yeah. And I was probably a bit harder on him than I should have been because I didn't realise the neurodivergency in him because he hit it too good because he's very intelligent.
Yeah. So there are ways you can make mealtimes more manageable and also nutritious while acknowledging
Mine were yummy.
they were yummy, delicious,
I never
and lots
made them.
of.
He just didn't like egg.
Yes, that's okay. So
Fair
while
enough.
acknowledging challenges and or preferences that occur, and that's a challenge too. If someone over here likes this type of food but doesn't want this one, and this person over here likes this type of food but doesn't like that one,
But I was
you
easier
can't make
on
3,
them.
4,
I mean,
5 separate different types of meals at a go.
But I used to
you
let
know?
him go and make himself like toast or whatever else. So, you know, there was times where I'd be like, look, dude, then you know what? If you're not going to eat this, then yeah, you're going to have to make your own whatever. And normally that would be toast.
Well,
or
here are
whatever.
5 things that you could try. And I'd love to
Okay.
hear in the comments whether you have tried this, if you yourself may be autistic or ADHD, or whether
Yes,
you're a
what's
parent
your eating
and you're looking
history?
after a child with
I've just been
somewhere on the
grilled.
spectrum than that. So number 1, identify safe foods. If your child prefers a particular food or type of food, such as salty, crunchy or sour, try to find the safe foods within each
Chocolate
core food group: the grains, the meats and the
Cookies.
fish, fruit, vegetables and dairy. Offering these foods may help increase your child's intake
Can't
of
eat
key
that.
nutrition from each food group in a way that suits their sensory preferences.
Well, Pa kept getting rum and raisin. Pa in heaven,
chocolate.
I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah.
Okay? I appreciated the kiss goodnight with the 2 squares of chocolate. I'm just going to tell you this. When it was rum and raisin, I was not happy.
That's a strategy so that children don't have their chocolate. Didn't work.
Oh, yeah, you used to say that. You goes, you won't like this one. I will. It's chocolate.
Exactly.
You won't like this one. Yeah, we argued for ages.
And you still got some.
I still got some and I went,
But you
he
still had
goes, do you like it? And I'm like,
Not really. All right, number 2, the special plate, spoon, or eating set. So if your child prefers specific tableware,
funny.
allow them to use it in and out of the home. This will mean taking items with you when you go dining out. Introduce new types of tableware
That's a
outside
good
of mealtimes
idea.
and use them in play, such as a pretend cafe or shop, or other
That's
activities
why I
to
take
build
my
familiarity
drink bottle.
before using them at mealtime.
I have my, you know, my big drink bottles. You probably think I'm a bit dramatic, but look, I have to be hydrated as an epileptic. But also, it's mine. It's familiar. I can put things in it, but that's true.
It is. Number 3, offer regular meals and snacks.
That's why I can't eat the food hall. I want to go home with
You
it.
want to go home with it. Yeah, funny with that. Now,
I'm still doing it.
differences in interoception, or how we feel bodily sensations, can mean neurodivergent children do not interpret feelings of hunger and thirst as neurotypical people do. So your child might not be able to tell you if they're hungry or full easily. Offer food on a predictable schedule, roughly every 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, my mum was good at that.
Some children will also get a sense of safety from regular routines.
I loved it. My mum was good with routines and it gave me a sense of safety, but then she liked to change the rules because she said, you've got to get used to this. There's changes. And she didn't realise she's dealing with an autistic, and I'm like,
on the verge of a meltdown.
you just change that? I can't breathe.
You need to
am
breathe.
I turning blue?
You need to breathe.
But no, what I was going to say on
That last one,
no, the
predictability, or the one before. Special plate set, spoon set.
No,
fork set.
after that.
Regular meals and snacks.
After that.
Interoception.
Oh, interoception. Guys, be careful of this. The undereaters, be careful. I passed out at school, in primary school. from lack of food,
lack of
guys.
nutrition.
You've got to monitor your autistic child.
They don't know how to do it themselves.
Now look, for my whole school life, it was Vegemite sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because at school, that was the food. At home, I could have peanut butter sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit annoying on my palate, but I'm just saying, at school, no peanut butter sandwich. Has to be Vegemite.
Sure, for the next 12 years.
So that has to be familiar.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, like,
but even
watch
here,
your under-eaters because they can pass out.
Sure.
I'm telling you, it happened to me so many times.
But even here
I can
today, as a
cry.
50-year-old, we monitor the intake of your nutrition,
It's
the
annoying.
types of drink that you're getting, your electrolytes, and the amount of food.
He does monitor, but he has to.
Have to. Number 4, keep offering a mix of foods. Children may go through phases of wanting only one type of food, seasonality. This can also be due to sensory seeking behaviours.
I don't like
a need
this
for
one.
sameness or fixations on topics or items.
Yeah, that's good.
A supportive approach is
To
to
that.
offer familiar, safe foods with other foods from the core group of the family or the family meal.
Nah, just
It's
keep it
important
to
to
the same.
continue provide opportunities every day for your child to try a range of foods.
No.
This might look like offering them some of your dinner on a side plate or allowing them to serve themselves from a selection of preferred and
I was
unprepared
proud of
foods.
myself when I was about
What'd you
9 or
do?
10.
Yeah.
I was, naturally ADHD. I was up out of bed and Mum was like eating.
What are you doing?
Sorry, just getting repositioned. She had like a, what they call these days a charcuterie board. Okay. And she's
very
sipping
fancy.
her wine, probably watching her telly. I'm meant to be sleeping.
Yeah.
This is her alone time that I'm interrupting. But she had snacks. So anyway, I sneak out of my room because I'm trying to watch telly, like out of the doorway like this.
Right. Well,
And
she
she's
should
like,
be sleeping.
"What are you doing?" And so I come out and just have a chat. Now, lucky having a single mum that you kind of get away with things a bit more. So I'm like, "Yeah, hi. What's that?" Like, and of course I liked being around my mum, but basically, like, what kid doesn't when they're little? But like, I was like, "What's that?" And it was smoked.
Oysters?
No, mussels. And I was like, "What is that?" Like, I've seen all the rest of what was on the plate. But like, she's like, "Oh, try one." And she told me they're smoked mussels. And I was like, She goes, "You get a cracker, you can get a piece of cheese, or you can just have it on a cracker." And I'm like, she goes, "It's really nice. It looks awful, but it's really nice." I actually tried it and loved it.
There you go.
So that was the only time, because trust me, grandparents, uncles, aunties, my mum, probably my dad, everyone's tried different things than me, and I'm like, And so when I'd come over to people's places, like my father, my grandparents, they didn't have to ask what flavour ice cream
They knew.
what flavour chocolate, what flavour cake or whatever. They knew.
Yeah. It does make
Because
it
I
a
was
little bit easier to do
only-
shopping, I must admit, each week.
Well, my brother was a bit angry because it was like, it's always chocolate cake. Because Nana would
Siblings.
always bake us a cake when we visit. And it was always chocolate.
And the flies inside of the scones?
No, but I think she cooked chocolate because she didn't want the...
Yeah, I would think so too.
But no, she cut me off. She said, "Right, you take out any more of those
You would
sultanas."
pick out the sultanas.
Raisins,
the
I should
flies,
say.
Yep, out of the
Squash
scones.
flies.
Squash flies, yep.
Ugh.
They're not squash flies.
Okay,
The
and I would
sultanas
take
raisins,
them out
yep.
and eat the scone. And she goes, "Right, that's it. No, if you're not going to eat the whole thing, you're not having one." And I'd be like, "Okay." Because it's my Nana, right? Respect, right? You got to have respect for your elders. So I'm like, okay. Pretty much everyone eating their scone.
Sorry for the
I
drilling
still
noise.
can't eat, still can't eat scones with raisins in it.
That's just so wrong. They're the best type. Absolutely. All right, last of the points of suggestions, manage sensory input. Now, some children find mealtimes overwhelming due to the sensory input from
How
smells,
do you eat the
tastes,
raisins at the same
textures,
time as
sounds,
the sogginess
and even
of
the size
scone?
of food and eating.
Not
To help
the-
your child manage sensory input, consider using headphones to reduce noise, using a fan to
Oh,
divert strong
my
smells,
family were noisy.
offering cold foods. Your child might need distractions like watching
Far
TV,
out, Pa.
using
That's a
fidget
funny
toys or
one.
listening to music. Always set them in a place at the
We
family
weren't
table
allowed to bring
and encourage
toys.
them to eat with the family, but allow them to also move to a separate quiet space if they're feeling
No.
overwhelmed.
We had allocated spaces. We were not allowed to move.
Yeah.
We were not allowed to bring toys to the
And
dining
see where your
room.
problems lie?
Okay, it was table etiquette.
Okay, but now,
Okay.
now you have ideas of things that will help and make it easier.
Well, yes, but it didn't
And
work
get
for
better.
me. I didn't get a benefit
But
of
you
any of
didn't
this.
have any of those things.
No.
That's what we're pointing out, what was missed. If you had all of these things, do you think it would have been better, more fun, more interesting, more
Well, I'm
engaging?
very intelligent. I'm
Okay.
mentally like low down, but
Hi, DD, but that's all right.
intellectually
Mm.
in a lot of not the whole lot, don't get excited, but certain things that
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
like hyper focused on, I'm very good at. You know what I did? This is genius. It's gross.
Okay, what was
It's gross,
genius?
but it's genius.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what, this veggie thing's getting real strong because I'm getting older and they're
Mhm.
ramming these veggies down my throat, literally.
Right.
It's funny how they kind of
Yeah, okay.
They didn't do that, guys. So I would like get, because Nana would let me eventually get a tablespoon to use because it was whatever would work, whatever's going to make you
We
eat.
need to get the nutrition.
And you know what
into
I used to do? I used to steal anyway. First off, I got the idea because we had the tablespoon at the top. That's what you put at the top.
Sure,
For dessert. But I'd steal it for, the main meal. So basically, I'd scoop in the veggies and I'd duck under the table and I'd scoop through everyone's legs
Yeah.
to the toilet bleh,
Honey.
and flush it and come back to
Get rid
my
of the evidence.
And I was doing it too often. And Nana, and because they're all talking, because my family's like, everything's like jokes and laughter and they're all loud and they're all caught. They're not even noticing us
Oh
kids.
my
And there was
goodness.
only mainly two of us most of the time. And then my cousin Dylan and all
Oh.
that. But like, they didn't notice. And then they did. And it was like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Where are you going? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
So I got caught
Scrum.
out. And it was like, they were more understanding because obviously they saw how
Yeah.
severe
Oh.
I wanted to achieve it and couldn't achieve it for them. But that's pretty gross. But that's the extreme that an autistic will go to
Pretty insightful.
because they actually want to please you, but they can't. They can't get past the sensory taste can
Yeah.
be like overwhelming, guys. It can send you into an absolute overload.
And that's why we're
then-
having this conversation, to be honest. And that's why it's come from theconversation.com. So good article. It's
But the
worth the
noise
effort
was
as their
annoying.
summary
The
goes.
family jokes and laughter.
It'll be very
Look,
distracting.
I loved it
Yeah.
for a short period of time, but then it got to the point, and we didn't have headsets, guys. So I'd be like this.
Right. You're improvising
At
and
the family table.
sound deadening
Yeah.
because it is very distracting.
Yeah.
I get it. I know what it's like in
Because my family can
environments,
laugh.
whether it's a pub or a club or a restaurant.
mean,
with
my
lots of noise, it's
grandfather-
difficult.
He'd laugh at everything, and it was big laugh. Cause,
Right, belly laugh. Yep.
well, he's a tall man, and he could laugh loud.
Fellow.
And then, of course, I don't know, everyone was loud.
Right. So that's very
Especially
difficult.
my auntie
So
Sue.
taking a
She was
neuroaffirming
loud.
approach to eating can significantly reduce the stress experienced by children who've got autism or
I
ADHD
agree.
at mealtimes. Making them feel better, understood, and more accepted can even lead to a healthier
But my
diet.
generation
over
would see
time.
that as spoiling the child. They would.
Mm.
And you know what? I'm not saying that, like, I would also challenge my child, and I have got an autistic child, and I did used to set
Yep.
challenges, but it has to be fair challenges. It can't be something that they can't achieve.
No, exactly.
But you always do try to make them feel like, hey, they can do things normal too, because you want them to feel like they're fitting into society. You can't over mollycoddle them because that's not going to serve them well. Because you know what? As harsh as it sounds, the world's not going to treat them the same way you do.
True. So do you feel
I'm a high functioning autistic and I don't get treated the
No.
way people that know me and respect my autism do. And I have to live like this. And so you have to give them a little bit of coping skills with that.
Yeah.
But yes, do make these recommended changes, but just understand that others aren't going to.
Yeah.
They go to a friend's place, it's not going to happen like that. They go to a public space and a public venue dinner,
Not a
it's
safe
not going to
place.
happen. So you've
And
got
no
to
consistency.
make sure they're aware of the normal way, because it's unfortunate as what it is, we are stuck in a neurotypical world. And so find a way to help them to achieve the normal way as much as you can before you implement too much of those accommodations. Does that make sense?
Does to
I'm
me.
not saying no to accommodations. I'm just saying I do think there's reality of, depending on the level of the autism, I mean, there's a spectrum here.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like,
if you're going to keep your
the
autistic
reality
ADHD
is-
person exclusive to the rest of the world and contained in a bubble, then great, you can make a very good experience. But what you're indicating here is obviously
the concern
they have
of
to step outside of that
yeah.
bubble to go into the
They're
real
always gonna
world,
get that,
which is
yeah.
non-affirming, and that can be very
So
stressful.
I appreciate, because when I go, now it's actually the opposite. Like, I go out to dinner and I know how to perform like a monkey. So I go there and I can even do all the etiquette. And I've had people say, oh my gosh, you eat so posh, don't you? I'm like, I didn't even know that there was such a thing. I thought everybody knew the table etiquettes of things. I really did.
But isn't that all just
And I
masking to
learnt-
fit in?
No, I learned that people actually at home in their place don't have to eat like that. I go to friends' places for sleepovers and they're eating in front of the TV and I'm like, this is a sin. This is a sin. What are we doing? I feel guilty. So I'm just saying, like, not everyone was taught my way, but I now am so programmed to be like,
Yeah, there is a lot of differences of things.
even my
outside
nana,
of
and
your
she'd
walls.
always sit across from me and she'd go, too much in the mouth. I'm like, but it's the good bit, Nana.
Right.
Yeah, I was terrible. But anyway, that's kids as well. But I'm just saying, yeah, funny.
Indeed. Well, good article, good conversation, good insight from yourself, both as a parent of a child with autism and also ADHD, but also yourself
Keep
as
the
a
dinner
person
table
with
relaxed.
that. Yeah,
That's
a
what
very
we did
good
with
tip.
our kids,
Keep
didn't
relaxed,
we?
exactly.
Because you're also
Lots of
catching up
options.
on the day and the goss,
Yeah.
or even on a weekend thing and a family thing.
And nutrition was important to give them the energy to be able to run around and do things.
Well, the only time I was interested was dinner.
Mm.
Because as you know now,
Yeah.
I'm a nighttime eater. I don't know what animal I am. I don't know. Whatever animal eats at night only, that's
Right.
what I am.
But it was a challenge to also get them away, just like yourself.
Shut the fuck up.
About noises starting to irritate you, isn't it? I know. You're doing really well in the interim.
It's annoying.
But even as our boys grew older, things like gaming and the computer and the internet.
Oh my
was a
god,
huge
let's turn
distraction.
the internet off.
Yes, the wireless suddenly developed an issue around dinner time, which is
What
like,
happened with the wireless,
I
Dad?
don't know.
Dad, what happened?
I've tried to turn it off and on again,
Don't
but
know.
it still doesn't work. It's Telstra.
But by the way, it's
Bloody
dinner
Telstra.
time. It's dinner time now. So
That's
anyway,
convenient. Thanks for coming out to the table. It's a good way to get them out. Guys, thank you so much for joining this conversation. Dyan's insight into our own experiences as what we do
tell
as well.
us your experiences.
Love to hear them in the
Any
comments down below.
Little bits of
Give a
like
big
funny
thumbs up.
stuff.
Thanks
or
to the conversation
struggle.
online at conversation.com as well for that article. Well done to them.
But yeah, any struggle that you had that was major, or any funny story,
Yeah.
any, you know, sort of, even if it's a negative story,
Yeah,
feel
love
free to
love hear your
share it,
experience.
because other people might read your comment and, you know, feel like, oh, validated. So, yeah.
Indeed. Oh, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you in another episode real soon.
If you wish to.
If you wish to. If not,
Bye.
bye. See ya.